broadcasting live from WORKBENCHcon 2022 in Atlanta, it's time for Organization Conversation, brought to you by Wall Control Storage Systems. Wall Control gives you the storage and organization you crave.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Organization Conversation. We're here at WORKBENCHcon. Super excited about this guest. We've already had a chance to chat a little bit. Super creative guy. Does all kind of cool stuff, and the way he marries them is fascinating. So rather than me try to do it, Jared, you go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a little background.
What's going on, everybody? I am JPaul the Carpenter. I am a singer-songwriter, but also a carpenter. I've been doing carpentry for the past 6.5 years, and I love it. I am from Dallas, Texas. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I know I am not a Falcons fan.
Well, I wish I wasn't, because it's very, very frustrating.
He's much worse than a Falcons fan.
What are you?
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm from Dallas. I have to be a Cowboys fan.
I wish I could have been from not Atlanta as far as the Falcons go. It's just, it hurts.
But you have the United.
That's true.
The Braves.
The Braves. You got the Braves.
Did the MLB ever get that sorted out? Do we know if we're going to be world champions? And because I think they were going through contract, like there was some negotiation, and they might not have a season this year.
Well, if the Braves are champions for 2 years, I don't have a problem.
We've lost championships in weird ways, so I'm okay with winning them again.
There it is.
Keeping the title. So
there it is.
Awesome, man. So how'd you get your start, and how did your career evolve to where it is now?
In woodworking,
all of it.
Okay.
I mean I'm fascinated with how both of those kind of came together, and the directions that it went.
So again, I mean, me starting with music just started from me having friends that do music. So one of my mentors growing up was a guy named Lecrae. I've been mentored by him for the past 20 years or something. And he asked me to be on a song years ago. I did that song. It went really well. And then I've just been on a bunch of different songs from there, since then. And then I did another song for him right before that moved me to Atlanta. We went on tour, and that song blew up, was Grammy nominated, it like gold and platinum plaques, and just all the things. Billboard #1, all the things.
All the things.
Right. So that was fun, but then being on tour, I had been here for a year, but collectively, me being in the city of Atlanta, I had only been here like a month and a half for a year. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I started dating somebody, and that got serious, and I'm like, I can't be gone all the time.
Yeah.
So from there I left, and I still need to make money. So I just started, I didn't know what I was going to do at first. I started to build things out of pallets. And a lot of people saw me building things. Hey, can you build a table? Can you build this? Can you build that? So I just started building things for other people. And the knowledge of that came from me building military airplanes years ago.
Gotcha.
So I worked on the Black Hawk helicopter, Gulfstream 4 and 5, the C-17, like everything.
Awesome.
So just taking that, I saw that it's a whole lot easier to go buy wood than it is to go buy titanium.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got into it. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, everything, my business has been word of mouth, because just my neighborhood just loved all the things that I was doing. And they just keep telling their friends.
That's the most powerful marketing there is, for sure. And that's kind of how we started too. It's like when there's not a budget and there's not, just one person seeing a piece of work or a product and saying, where'd that come from? And just going from that, growing that way. And that's really the most powerful form of it, is that testimonial.
Yep.
Someone you know and trust.
Local community,
Absolutely.
Where you can see the thing or know somebody and they're like, yeah, no, it's legit.
Yep.
It's good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So have you, is this your first WORKBENCHcon?
This is my first WORKBENCHcon.
So what do you think as a first timer?
I love it. I mean, I really enjoy the classes, but just the networking of lunches and dinners and I mean, you get a lot of information in the classes, but you get more information just seeing somebody. I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
And I may have disrespected a few people who are well known in the woodworking industry, but just having a conversation with them,
Yeah.
And just picking their brains on stuff.
That's what it's all about. It really is just like, I was talking to somebody and it's like, the restroom's 200 yards from here, but it can take an hour to get there. Just because you start talking to somebody and you meet the friend of somebody else. And then, that's, and just folks, we talked about the creative collaborations that come up, and your background being so unique in two different areas of art, like how that could work in some crazy way. Like,
indeed.
I don't even know. We were just talking to someone. It's like, what do we want to come from the show? I have no idea. I just know cool stuff happens after it's over. So we'll see what that, how that goes. That's like Stephanie. She does all kind of amazing combinations of all, like, pulls from all of her different knowledge bases and mixes all that together. Like literally and figuratively mixes it up. So,
and I wouldn't work for Wall Control if it weren't for this conference.
I
mean, that's how I met you. And I think some part of it that makes it so special here is a lot of us, like, I go to work at Wall Control every day, but a lot of us that are woodworkers, like when I was just trying to do woodworking and that's it, like we're alone all day every day. We're not talking to anybody. And then when we do talk to people, it's like our significant others or like the checkout person at Home Depot. And then you get to talk to somebody who has like the same problems as you, the same struggles as you, like that, my gloves don't fit. Like that's not something that you can talk about at the dinner table, but here everybody's like, mine either.
Right. Yep, and I'm a people person. I love being around people, and I can tell Stephanie is too.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love being around people. I get energy from being around people, and being in a shop by myself for 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week is like, I need that energy. I need people. I need, to
it's
have
just
some
motivating
fun.
too. Like, it's like I'll go to a conference like this, or even I'll sometimes pick a conference to go to just because I know I'll come back more motivated and inspired than when I went there. You know? Even if I, like, literally, even if I took nothing away from it, like practical application, which that's certainly not the case here with all the creative people, but just to get that energy, to be around like-minded people, be able to collaborate and be inspired and go back and take that to your work. So,
yes, indeed. I mean, everybody's just nice here. Like, everybody wants to see everybody win because we know that this is a small community of people. Like, not everybody's going to want to do this. I mean, some people want to do it.
And everybody, it's like rising tides lift all ships. It's not a zero-sum game. Like, everybody wins together. And the more, nobody's monopolizing or cannibalizing anybody else's following. You're just all growing it together, and you're spreading the word about the community and the creativity and what all you can do.
Yes, indeed.
Do you see a lot of that, like, and especially in like music, there's always a lot of collaborations and stuff like that. I mean, I know you're new to this group of people, but I can imagine it would be very similar. Like, people in the making community are always trying to collaborate and help each other, help grow their community, especially in areas where maybe there's not a lot of makers or a group of people is underrepresented. You can really help draw your friends and your people in and get eyes on new things.
You make that circle bigger. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, I've done that with a lot of the artists that I've worked with. A lot of those artists start to see, like, wait a minute, you're doing what? Like, you're building stuff, but you still sing? But, and they're like getting into it. Like, artist T.I., like, he's like, I love renovation stuff. I want to be the one to pull the saw down, like the miter saw down. Like, he's getting into stuff like that. And I think it's cool just seeing a lot of the people that I grew up listening to their music, they're starting to do the same thing that I'm doing as well. And it's like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like, this is kind of
and they
cool.
like see you do that. And it's like they inspire you, and to be able to give that back to them in a different way. And I mean, I know for me, you do your job every day, and sometimes you need a break, and you're a creative person. So you can go to another form of art that's not the same and like give your mind a break, you know? So I could see that being a nice release one to the next. So.
I get a break from each one of them.
Yeah,
so sometimes I'm in album season and I'm like, all right, I don't feel like building anything.
Give me some wood. Exactly. Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm in building season and I'm like, I don't feel like singing anything. So it's literally been 2 years since I've like seriously sat down to record an album, because I really love doing carpentry.
Yeah, man. Once you get in like the flow of it, and you're working on a project, you want to just keep that rolling and keep sharpening that skill. So
You building anything cool right now?
I'm doing closets. I enjoy doing, what I call department store closets. I like putting the lights in there and making people's shoes.
Like a show closet.
A show closet.
A show shoe closet.
A show shoe closet.
He's a big sneaker fan, too.
I love it.
All right, we got to do something cool with that because we're moving into the sneaker space.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if we talked about this, but like Stadium Goods in Soho,
yeah.
like their whole wall is wall control. Like it's all, and so they've really, and that's going back to like people being creative and like showing us uses for the product we didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, yes, this totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can change the shelving around so you can, like, as your collection changes, so can your wall.
Yep.
But yeah, for real, we need to find. I already got some ideas for this.
I didn't even think about that. Like, this much space for highs and this much space for lows,
and we can do like private label stuff. Like we got Adam's Lazy Guy DIY kit. Like partnerships. Where, like you are the face of that unit. And there's commission and all that stuff, but it's that's what I love about these conferences is you can see where these like Venn diagrams overlap and go in that direction and see what happens. So,
it's so cool in this room. It's like I'm looking around like you think woodworkers and like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you think of woodworker and that mental image. Yes, there are people in this room that look exactly like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people in this room that don't.
That do not.
And you look around and like all these people are woodworkers, but there's also like a group of people over there. Like you're a singer. Brandy's a singer. Like there's other people here. They're also musicians, and other people here who build their own guitars, and other people here who do their own shoes. And like,
and you
it's
got,
so
like,
cool
Craig,
to have like your
forge guy. Like I mean, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
It's
like
it's
this room
really
is
cool.
this room is. I love the creativity coming out of this room.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, it like gives me chills. Like thinking about how like if you could like somehow show that on a chart, it would be insane.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, just hearing different people's like different things that they're building. I mean, even looking at this one art piece that's on this table.
Yeah.
I'm like, who made that? Like that's super dope. Like I just like. I'm a visual person, and just seeing everything, even though somebody might build a porch swing or a daybed swing, I'm like, what made you think to do this thing to it? Because I build them as well.
Yeah. And
what made you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, I mean, to Stephanie's question, like, what are some cool projects you've done, some things that you were like, all right, I'm pretty proud of that. That's pretty awesome.
So I would have to say TI swings were
They're amazing.
Yeah. By far some of my favorite work that I've done. I did a desk for Lou Williams, a studio desk for Lou Williams. He plays for the Hawks. And a studio booth for T-Pain. So interesting story. When T-Pain and his manager asked me to do the studio booth, I didn't know what I was doing. I just started looking stuff up. I said yes. I started looking stuff up, and I made it. I took it to him. And I closed my eyes and crossed my fingers as he was walking in, and he was like, "This is crazy." I was like, "Thank you,
dude.
Thank you."
You didn't know? You were just like, "No, I'm not saying no to T-Pain."
Right? I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to build a room, but like to make a room soundproof that you can move around an office, was just.
That's game changing kind of
right.
Yeah, that's innovative.
Right.
And
you're just like, yeah, I can do that.
Right. And then he was like, could you make everything? So I put an AC unit in it. I put LED lights in it. I put a charging port in it, and everything was plugged up to one outlet that you just plug into the wall, and all of that works from that one outlet.
That's awesome.
How big is this thing?
It's 5 foot by 5 foot. And
nice
maybe
and
8 foot tall. Yep.
That's crazy.
9 foot tall. But yeah, so I made it and took it to them, and they loved it, and they've been using it ever since.
Dude, I love to like speak into like the maker and creative community.
Yeah.
That is like, I think that's what you see as like the theme here is like you didn't know how to do it or what to do, but you weren't afraid to like say I'm gonna do this,
right,
and like do it with confidence, and then look how it out. That's what separates, I think, this community from just people who are afraid to take that step and just don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to give it a shot. Yeah.
I may have been a little afraid. The first copy that fell apart.
I'm not.
I may have been a little afraid, but I mean, of course, after all of the YouTube videos and all the things that you see online, like, it's not that hard to figure out what it is that you need to do for this specific project.
Absolutely.
And then just go, I mean, if you have the funds or the means to be able to do so, go buy the things that you need to make it happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
awesome.
It'd be cool if one of the YouTube videos you watch to make that was somebody in this room.
Yeah.
It might be. You never know.
It might be.
Yeah. You ought to do a YouTube video of looking at YouTube videos to make a YouTube video of you know what I mean? Like
that's crazy.
Levels.
Yeah,
exactly. Like layers of
Matter
things.
Matter of fact, no, it was okay. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I was about to say somebody. He's not here, but there was there's a guy named More DIY Creators. He's a black guy. I think he's from New Orleans. I think he lives here in Atlanta. So I watched one of his videos about LED light backlighting.
Yeah,
and that's how I did the backlighting.
Dude, that's awesome. And just the ping pong effect of like everybody getting better, watching everybody else's stuff, and like iterating on something somebody else did.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this, and you know, like you might have done it exactly the way he did it the first time, but because you saw it, you might have said, "Oh, well, I can do this little thing on top of that." So it's like rapid iteration into like way cool stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, one of the first tables I ever built. Everybody, I mean, I've talked to a few people about her, but Anna White. Everybody knows Anna White.
Yeah.
One of the first tables I ever built for somebody. I looked online. I just typed in farm table plans. Her thing popped up.
Yeah.
I made that table, and started to build my own tables, and from that creation or creating my own tables from her plans.
Right.
And now I'm just doing totally different things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just speaking of what you were just saying. So
awesome.
I bet a lot of people here have done that. Anna White's been to a lot of these in the past, and I know. I mean, I've built stuff off her plans. I'm sure I bet half the people in here have built something off her plans.
Yeah.
But she was definitely one of the first one in the space to do the plans and to be like, oh, that's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just that, I mean, how people have developed and how the community builds on itself like that, you know? So, cool, man. So, I don't want to take up all your day. I know you're a popular guy, but how can people reach you? How can they find you online? And how can you got multiple forms of art. How can they find each one? And then from the business side of it, what's kind of your ideal client and how can they reach out to you?
Okay, so starting.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, so I'll let
like
you.
7 questions.
Go whichever direction you want with it. So yeah.
So starting with who is my ideal client? Anybody. I just like to create for anybody. I'm also, just a sidebar, I'm also super passionate about young kids, specifically young black kids who didn't have the opportunity to learn how to do a lot of the things that I do, teaching them to find those clients as well and giving them the opportunity. I met a guy named Jeff. His friend got hurt at a Kroger, and I went to Jeff afterwards, brought him to my house, taught him how to build a table, and he cried because he was like, I never knew that I would want to do anything like this. You know what I'm saying? So just teaching him, and he's 20 years old, grew up in the hood, 20 years old, and I'm just teaching him how to do that stuff. So teaching him how to do this, and then, hey, let's go to the clients that I have that I enjoy building for and teaching them how to do that. So again, anybody as far as clientele, do I like working with the people that I've worked with musically? Absolutely, because those are just friends. Yeah. But anybody, I'm a immediate gratification person. That's part of the reason why I like carpentry. Music, you have to wait a little while. Does it do good on the charts? Does it not? Mm-hmm. Carpentry or building, period. You finish a project, and you see immediately what those people that you built it for, how they like it. So again, anybody, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but I also thanks for what you do, showing the next generation that they can make, and and that making can be a super lucrative career. It's not, because I think and we see this too, because we have a metalworking shop, and it's in our culture, it's like if you don't follow this super specific course through high school, through college, then things aren't going to work out. But that's absolutely not the case.
Right.
And it's gotten to the point that it's so bad that there's not enough people with skills to like actually make things that we're going to have a major problem. And the people that do know how to make things have like the most insane job security in the world because there's none of them.
Right.
So
and you can make good money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And get paid to learn how to do it.
And that's just if you're making it. But think if you can hire more makers, or you can be creative about it, or you can, it's like I want to tell people that, like, especially young folks who like start in the shop, like start an Instagram account, man. Show people this work, because people on the outside, all they see is spreadsheets and computers all day. They would love to see a big machine making something cool. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
So how can people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at JPaul the Carpenter, and that's just my carpentry Instagram. I do have a music Instagram, but I'm kind of just letting that go away.
It's wood season.
Right.
It's wood season.
It's wood season, exactly.
There it is.
Exactly. I like it.
However, I do have an EP. The name of the EP is called Making Love. Making love to me means building your relationship. So I have a video compilation of 7 songs. I made it like a story, and it's the life of the day, a day in the life of a builder. So I started home with me and my wife and my then first son, then going to the shop and or going to the lumber yard, picking up stuff, and it just follows me through the day while I'm singing my songs.
You're taking this maker thing to the next level.
I
like it.
The artistry, the blending of both of them.
Right.
Like, that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome.
So if you want to find that is on YouTube and my YouTube account is JPaul Sings, I think. But yeah, just follow me on on Instagram. JPaul the Carpenter.
the right way.
Right. And I'll send you the
link in bio.
Right. So yeah, that's, as far as that, that's that. Oh, and JPaulTheCarpenter.com, Porch959.com is my furniture website. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on. It's been a blast, and hope you have a good rest of the conference.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. Organization Conversation is brought to you by Wall Control, a family-owned and operated producer of best-in-class wall-mounted organizers for your home or business, made right here in the USA. To learn more, go to wallcontrol.com.